Yeah, what's going on? It's been a while since I've actually done a video of me just giving my takes on things, but this is something that I saw and I really wanted to get into it because it was quite the take. But before we get to that, I definitely want to go ahead and plug something. Right over here, you see King's Crowning. Got my King's Crowning gear on now. This is a turban that is satin lined, amazing products to protect your hair. They have so much things there. Use my code Unbounded1 for 10% off your next purchase. With that being said, we're gonna get on to it. So, what I really wanted to get here today about was just issues that I'm seeing, and you guys can obviously tell I'm a black man, and there are a lot of things that I've been seeing in our society that race just gets brought into it, and honestly, there is no need for it. And I know I see it a lot of times, and the people on the right will quickly throw out the woke term. And if you've seen my podcast with myself and Isaac, we talked about how we don't really necessarily care for the term woke because of how politicized it has been. But when you start seeing the things that are being said, one of the things I'm definitely going to talk about now is the issue of time. So on TikTok, there was this lady. As a matter of fact, I'm not going to tell you. I'm going to just let you hear from herself.
Can we stop like normalizing people being late? Like it's not cute, it's not funny, it's not a
When y'all are ready to learn about the connections between this, and the white American cultural norm with obsessing over being on time, please let me know. Please. Because as someone who is black, queer, has ADHD, and studies African American history and culture, it's one of my favorite things to talk about. It's going to be so much fun. But until then, we could just keep acting like that's a completely harmless opinion that has no historical context whatsoever.
So I'm sorry if I am the type of person that values my time. If I was to do something, it better start on time because I have other things that I want to do in my day. And when you start late, you finish late. So if something starts at 10 o'clock, I'm going to be there at 10:50, at 9:50, and with the expectation of it starting at 10 on the dot. If that is me having some rooted white supremacy or whatever you want to call it, Eurocentrism, so be it. If that is a Eurocentric ideology, I'll keep it. I'm sorry, I value my time and I don't want to be wasting my time waiting for other people to come when they should be there on time as well. If I'm going to make it a purpose and a priority to be there on time, it is what it is. Our society runs on that. You can't show up at your job 5 minutes late just because it's some Eurocentric ideology. You constantly show up at your job late, see what happens. Well, in some cases they don't care. But if you have a job that is really anal on their time, then you already know what's up. So just that whole idea that this is a racist issue or whatever. I think she brought up the fact that she's a queer woman, which again I don't understand how any of that stuff really brought into the idea that race and all these other things have anything to do with time. I would definitely like to see what research there is showing that black people are naturally just late just because we're black, but I'm pretty sure it's nothing that is real valid. But I wanted to bring something else up here because I saw this. Shout out to Ruin Leon. He was live on Twitch yesterday, and he brought up an issue that happened at North Carolina A&T where there was a issue where the teacher, the professor, I should say, basically set up a dress code. So let me see if I can actually find that for us. So this is from Forbes here. So NCAT's instructor dress code raises questions about professional attire. A dress code for a computer programming course at an HBCU in North Carolina gets more attention than students' clothing. When it recently circulated on Twitter, while the dress code has been taken off the syllabus, the incident shows that once you leave college and enter the workforce, the definition of professional attire differs depending on who you ask and often who you are. The dress code from a class that was at North Carolina A&T quickly gained 3 million views when it was posted on Twitter. The professor included bonnets, do-rags, hoodies, booty shorts, coochie cutter shorts, and twerk shorts on his ban list. If you wear it to bed or the club, don't wear it to class, he wrote. For college students, this is the definition of workwear is murky, considering the history of professionalism equating to white favoritism. The syllabus left me a middle-aged BIPOC woman working in the talent acquisition scratching my head. As a point of reference, bonnets and do-rags protect hair, preserve hairstyles overnight. For centuries, the public discourse around black women and hair coverings has become a heated topic. All right, so I'm gonna hit a pause on that. Y'all just saw me. Y'all just saw me really just plug a whole headgear company, and I don't wear this to bed. Hold that thought. This is what I wear to bed. This is what I wear to bed. This is more of an outing type headgear. I am not going to wear this, and I have a few bonnets laying around my room as well. I'm not wearing those out in public. I'm sorry. If you are the type of person, and honestly, I think we need to get out of the idea of is headwear, so we should wear it. I don't think it is a good look for you to be just outside wearing bed clothing, pajamas, or any of that sort to a just out in public. But then again, that's just me and how I was raised. So I'm gonna continue on. In the 1700s, black women were banned from wearing their hair uncovered in Louisiana due to the Tignon laws. This law, enacted by Spanish governor of Louisiana, Esteban Rodriguez Miro, was targeted to connect free black women to those enslaved by wearing a tignon, scarf, or handkerchief on the head. The tactic backfired when black women embellished fabrics, turning the suppressive law into a fashion craze. For many, keeping up with the present day policing of blackness is exhausting. So, policing blackness is if we're in a setting where we're preparing you for the real world. I think that is a good idea for you to not wear certain clothing is a bad thing. Good thing y'all don't go to Bethune-Cookman, whose dress code is campus wide. And again, this is something that Leon brought up, how they are, if you had to know, I'm working in middle school, their dress code is pretty similar to ours. Your midriff can't show, your skirt short length should not be too high, men shouldn't be walking around with their underwear showing. They can't even wear like tank tops or anything of that sort. Pajamas are absolute no. If you are preparing yourself for a professional setting, I think that you should be preparing yourself. Now, there are some instances where it can be a little shaky. Now, I was talking to my coworker, and she went to Hampton, was a business major, and she was talking about the issue of the hair, which in the business school you couldn't have dreadlocks. That I don't necessarily agree with, obviously. But when you start thinking about how the business world, the real world is, thankfully dreadlocks and locks, whatever you want to call it, are being more accepted by society. But at the same time, I'm not going out there looking any type of way in a real world setting. I work at a middle school. I'm not walking around in pajama pants that are hanging under my butt. I look presentable. Even if I'm out in the street, I look presentable. I don't think that is a big deal. But maybe y'all think I'm just rooting in some type of white supremacy or something. But let me know what y'all think. Like, subscribe, comment. Let's discuss this because clearly this is a controversial topic for some odd reason. All of this. Are we looking too deep into everything to see the racism in it, or is it, or am I being too critical? You know, I thought I was finished, but I was on Facebook and I saw a word, and it just reminded me of something else that was absolutely dumb and nobody asked for. So you work. This is not my words. This is the headline from Daily Mail. Woke leaders at USC School of Social Work will stop using the term field in curriculum and practice because it is considered racist. So I want to read a little bit of this because I've got a feeling there's a bunch of foolishness in this and there's a bunch of advertisers and I'm over it. So this is from, the first thing I see here is a tweet from Howman David Himadi, MD, PhD. Today, USC Social Work sent out this letter announcing that they would no longer use the word field as in conducting field work because it is perceived as racist. Is this with merit or empty virtue signaling? As he asks Elon Musk, and I believe this is what's that Ingram lady from Fox News. Let's see if I can actually get this email to actually be able to be seen. All right, as we enter 2023, we would like to share a change we are making in the Supreme Dwak Pak Suzanne Dwak Peak School of Social Work. To ensure our use of inclusive language in practice, specifically, we have decided to remove the term field from our curriculum and practice and replace it with words practicum. This change supports anti-racist social work practice by replacing language that could be considered anti-black or anti-immigrant in favor of inclusive language. Language that could be powerful in phrases such as going into the field or field work may have connotations for descendants of slavery and immigrant workers that are not benign. This change aligns with the Council on Social Work Education advancing anti-racism in social work education through our educational accreditation policies and standards. The 2021 National Association of Social Work commitment to undoing racism through social work and the Eliminate Racism Grand Challenge for Social Work. So you're doing all this stuff for people who don't care, and if you're white, they're probably going to still consider you racist no matter how much you try to be a anti-racist. Continuing, in solidarity with universities across the nation, so evidently other universities other than USA is doing this. Our goal is not just to change language, but to honor and acknowledge inclusion and reject white supremacy, anti-immigrant, and anti-blackness ideologies. Words are powerful, but even more so is this action. We are committing to further align our actions, behaviors, and practices with anti-racism and anti-oppression, which requires taking a close and critical look at our profession, our history, our biases, and our complicity in the past, and current injustices. It also means continue to work together to train social work students today who understand and embody social and racial justice. This is the bedrock of our values and our principles, and we will all need to hold each other accountable to do better in this regard. We know that changing terminology can be challenging, and a complete transition will take some time, but we thank you in advance for joining us in this effort and for your patience as we transition. If you have any questions, comments, please contact us at email. So, you said be held accountable. So, I'm a black man. Who asked for this? Seriously, what black person do you know is really sitting out here bothered by the term field work? I just saw somebody that is a black man, darker than me, talk about his field of work. Nobody is walking around crying about the word field when it comes to your field of study, your field work, or any of that sort. This is nothing but a racial, I guess you would say woke, just virtue signal. And it's getting ridiculous to the point where you look pathetic doing it. Stop. Everybody just stop. Y'all tried this mess with the Latinx or whatever you want to call it, Latinx or whatever, and they told y'all stop doing that. I'm going to put my foot down and say, stop this. This is ridiculous. Stop. Peace, love, pot stars, drink water. I'm out of here. Just make me sick.
Motherfucker, I've been mortified, 45, feeling like a Mordecai. I ain't regular, feel like Jordan wearing 45. Traumatized, victimized, seen some of my die. Knock you off a base with a bat when them niggas slide. Homicide, genocide, televised, emphasize, perpetuating war. Tell that nigga he gon' pick a side. Hood ties from hood lines, now niggas doing dope lines. I'm running to the cops.